It's almost like a little organ, except it's vegan, guys. Making food, eating food, as well as traveling the world to discover and eat more delicious food. Today is our last day in Bali, Indonesia, which is super sad, but we couldn't leave without having one very important dish that is super well known and very well loved here in Bali. And so we're gonna go into a spot called Crispy Duck or Bebek Goreng to try one of the very famous dishes here in Bali. So let's go check it out right now. Exploring the rich cuisines across Indonesia, noting the differences and the different types of flavors, spices, the vegetables and fruits that are used across this amazing country. And the people have been so friendly everywhere we've gone. The hospitality, the warmth of everyone has really made this trip so special for the both of us. The food here has been amazing, richly spiced, very pungent, with all of the garlic, the ginger, the galangal, the lime. It's been a really delicious trip. We've probably been eating a bit too much just because the food's been so good, but we couldn't leave Bali or Indonesia without having some betutu. Betutu is a spice mixture that is very common in Bali within Indonesia, and it's usually used as a spice mixture to flavor different types of poultry. So the poultry that it's used to flavor is usually chicken or duck. So you'll see ayam betutu, so chicken betutu, or bebek betutu, which is duck betutu. And you'll see it all over Bali. It's a special dish. It's made with a very complex spice mixture, which is unique to Bali. So the spice mixture has so many different spices that I can't even list off the top of my head, but the ones that are most notable that I can remember right now are, of course, ginger, young ginger, galangal, turmeric, and other spices that make this very rich, very flavorful, and something that cannot be missed if you come to Bali. So we are trying this dish out at a place that is in Kuta. It's not along Kuta Beach, it's a bit of a walk. I think we probably spent about 40 minutes walking from Kuta Beach out into this area, and the place that we're having this dish at is Bebek Betutu restaurant. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. The full name of the restaurant, you can see the sign, is going to be Crispy Duck Bebek Betutu, and it's along Sunset Road in Kuta. They're famous for their crispy duck, but because it was our last day here in Bali and I really wanted to try a betutu dish, we got the duck prepared with betutu spices. So the poultry is usually either steamed or it is roasted. So I'm not sure which method they used here. It looks like it was steamed, but I could be wrong. And it's covered in this really flavorful broth, which has the betutu mix of spices. So we ordered a quarter of the duck, so a quarter of the Bebek Betutu, and then to drink with this, we also got one papaya juice as well as one lime juice. Both have come sweetened, so they're a little bit more on the sweet side. And then of course, if you order the betutu dish, whether it's the duck or the chicken, it's almost always going to come with some rice. So you have the choice of getting white rice or red rice at pretty much every place that you would order this at. I would strongly suggest that if you come to Bali to order it with the red rice, because in Bali, red rice is favored, or at least our driver Eddie told us that yesterday. So this Bebek Betutu is garnished with a number of different chilies. I'm assuming that this is a sambal mixture, as well as some onions. So I'm just gonna kind of dig in to see what the inside is like. Ooh, so it's quite tender. The meat already rips apart just with the pull of your fork or your spoon. Ooh. Oh wow, it's like very rich and flavorful. You can smell all of the different types of ginger, and turmeric in here. Ooh. Yeah, as you can see, this This duck is really, really tender. We got the leg. You have the choice of leg or breast. Obviously, I'm gonna get dark meat because dark meat is superior in flavor. And so I'm just gonna take some of this broth, spice mixture, and get some of this chili or sambal mix. Take a bite. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's a really, really flavorful duck. Those spices are so pungent, and the sambal mixture, the chilies are just like overtaking my mouth right now. Oh, this broth is like really, really rich. Ooh, and then I got some lemongrass too. That was really, really good. Ooh, those chilies are getting to me. It's so tender. It's really good. The meat is so moist. You just pull it across, and the meat just comes off. Barely even need any effort. Really good. Now I'm gonna take a taste of this bread rice. This is definitely a reddish color, and it's garnished with some fried shallot. I love that everything is garnished with fried shallots here in Indonesia. I'm just gonna take a taste of the rice by itself. That's really good. It's like very, very nutty. Definitely has a much more distinct taste than white rice. Now let's take a taste of the rice with some of this delicious betutu broth. Oh, this betutu broth, betutu spice broth, goes super well with the nuttiness of this rice. This is a really good compliment. Now we're gonna wrap it all up by having everything in one bite. So I'm gonna take some of this rice, some of this delicious duck, the sauce, as well as some of the sambal. Ooh. It's like explosions of flavor in my mouth right now. Like so many different flavors. Spicy, salty, savory, spicy from the sambal, as well as spicy from the different types of ginger and the galangal. Ooh, all those different spices in there are just so, so good together. Ooh, those shallots in here are so good in this spice paste. It's so yummy. It just shows how delicious spice paste come from mortar and pestles. Mortars and pestles are the best. Anyway, so I've been chugging along on these juices that we've been sharing. I thought I'd give you a taste of what this is like. So this is the papaya, and then this one is the lime juice. So I'm gonna take a swig of this. Oh man, the papayas that we've been having in Indonesia have probably been some of the sweetest, best ones I've ever had. Papaya just has such a rich, creamy taste here. And this is lime. This is probably our very first lime juice on this trip. We love lime juice just because of how tart and refreshing it is. Sometimes when you have a lot of sweet and salty, it's nice to contrast with something sour. So it was obviously freshly squeezed because it was really frothy and foamy on the top. Ooh, this lime juice is so good. It's so, so refreshing. It has just the right amount of tart with the right amount of sweet. I think we've done a pretty good job eating all the meat off of the duck. I think I'm gonna take my last bite here and try to make sure I'm sopping up all of those juices and the broth into the same bite. We can't forget all that sambal. Sambals here are definitely the best. Spicy, delicious. I think I got some kind of bone in here. Got another bone. And another. There's a bone in bite. This dish was so satisfying. It's actually not too heavy too. It's just lightly steamed or roasted. Pretty sure this one was steamed though. And then with that spice paste of garlic and shallots and galangal and ginger and turmeric and so many other delicious things. I think there's also nuts as well as some sort of shrimp paste that's used to make this. All those really pungent, complex flavors really contribute to a really colorful, really vibrant dish that is one of the very famous dishes here in Bali. So if you come to Bali, make sure that you seek out Ayam Betutu or Bebek Betutu. It's very characteristic of Balinese cuisine. Our driver was very insistent that before we leave Bali that we try this dish, either in the chicken or the duck form. So I'm really happy that we have tried the duck version. Duck is just so delicious and it's so rich and so fatty, and the dark meat, of course, is always superior, so make sure that you get the leg and not the breast if you get a quarter piece. That was super delicious. I'm so happy that we got to have one of our last meals be Bebek Betutu. It was really good. So many different spices and herbs all layered together to make this super flavorful, really fragrant and vibrant dish that is really well known in Balinese cuisine. I think that if you are going to come to Bebek Goreng Crispy Duck restaurant, one thing to note is that because of the name Crispy Duck or Bebek Goreng, if you have an appetite and there's more that you can eat, because we're quite stuffed today after all the amazing food we've been eating, definitely order the Crispy Duck or the Bebek Goreng. It is their signature dish next to the Bebek Betutu. Along the road, and we also happened upon another durian vendor along the sidewalk who was able to sell us this durian. We wanted dessert, couldn't find a place that had some iced dessert that we wanted, so we decided, well, there's durian here, so why not? So we got this small durian right here. It's got 4 big hunks. We got it for about 50,000 Indonesian rupiah. Really excited. I sampled it before I bought it, and it's really sweet, super creamy, and of course very pungent the way durian typically is. The vendor was really friendly. She spoke a little bit of English, which was helpful, and they also sell other fruits here as well, such as pineapple and other things, but of course we're mainly interested in this durian. So I'm gonna do my best to dislodge this out of the shell. Ooh, this is a really nice clean piece. Look at this. It's almost like a little organ, except it's vegan, guys. This is a fruit. Smells really creamy, really milky, definitely very sweet. This is definitely super ripe. Oh my God. This may be better than the one that we had yesterday. It's not too ripe so that when you press your finger into it, it doesn't totally turn to mush. And it's just a little bit firm to the touch, as you can see here. See? This is so good. It's so fun to eat too. It's quite messy, but the mess is worth it. You're probably also wondering, why am I sitting on the side of a road eating durian? This is actually a really common thing that happens in Southeast Asia. Because so many places like hotels, different types of accommodation, they do not allow you to bring durian into the property. You really don't have a choice but to eat it on the side of the road where the fruit vendors are going to be selling the durian. So they'll cut it open for you. In some cases, they may even pick out the fruit for you. In this case, I just wanted to dig into it myself. But you'll oftentimes see people sitting along the road, just eating their durian, paying for it, and then leaving. So it's kind of like quick, easy dessert, quick snack during the day. So even for locals, there are some people who love the smell love the taste of durian, but they don't necessarily want it smelling up their home or their offices. So they may eat it and enjoy it outside,
and make sure that the smell doesn't come in. So if you want to liken it to something that is common, that people love the flavor of but don't necessarily want that lingering smell, garlic could be one of those things. So you may love to eat things that are heavily flavored with garlic and have a lot of garlic, but you may not necessarily want the aftertaste in your mouth, and you may not want your house completely smelling like it. It's like having milk but in a vegan form. Pungent kind of milk. Naturally sweet, creamy, milky. Maybe even almost like banana-y in flavor, maybe, just a little bit. One of the biggest highlights of being in Southeast Asia is having durian and jackfruit ready to buy along any street. It's really great to be able to have this be one of our last tastes here in Indonesia before we leave to go back to the States. So I really hope that you have been enjoying all of the food that we've been eating here in Bali as well as all over Indonesia, and that this inspires you to try some of the local foods that are really well known and really well beloved here in Bali as well as throughout Indonesia. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to hear what your favorite duck dish is that you've ever had. And please follow along for more food, more travel, and more culture as we explore the rest of Indonesia and beyond. Thanks again for watching.